It's the word, Vonnie EC, another trucker. Trucking saved me from the corporate circus, as I should say. You know, a while ago, man, I was watching this video, and I can't think of the content creator's name, man. This a brother, man. His name got Cola something in it. Cola something. I was trying to find him today, but I couldn't, so I can get the name because I wanted to give him his props and make sure I say his full name, but I couldn't find his page for some reason today. But I know it had Cola, something, Kola, something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I seen a video a while ago, this was like some months ago, and he got this video talking about the things that black men specifically have to deal with when you working in a corporate environment, you know, job, office, you know, just in any environment to where you're working within a structure of being in a corporate environment. And a lot of stuff that he was saying, man, damn, really he was hitting it on the nail. Everything that he was saying was things that I peeped, things that I've experienced, things that I've been through as a black man that has once worked in a corporate environment. And I mean, I guess you could say I'm still under corporate jurisdiction in a sense, but as far as like working in the building, in the office, every day, day to day, 9 to 5 around people and all that different type of shit, no. All that shit ended once I started driving trucks. But everything that he was saying about what black men have to do, go through, and then especially, you know, depending on what type of, the kind of black man that you are, you know, especially like if you're a black man that you kind of stay off to yourself, you come to work and you do your job and you go home. You're not really in the mix, things of that nature. So he was just speaking on different topics revolving that. And it really resonated with me. It really resonated with me. And I was thinking about that topic. And it just took me back to a situation that I had. And these are just a couple stories that I want to share. And it just, you know, these stories make me appreciate trucking for real. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll never look back. You know what I'm saying? The only thing, like I said this in a video a long time ago, the only thing I miss about working in a corporate structure is being around women. That's the only thing I really miss, because the way things been for me in trucking, I don't really see nothing. I don't see no action. Not on my normal route, on my journey. I don't see nothing. So other than that, but when I used to work in the casino industry, this probably was somewhere probably like my last year, during my last year working in the casino industry. And this particular incident, man, I don't know if it was racial. Some people, you know what I'm saying? You take it for what it's worth. I don't really know if it was a racial situation, but when it comes to the shit that a black man got to deal with in the corporate structure, this goes right along with that narrative. So anyway, working on the dice table, you know, craps. Anybody that's familiar with the casino setting and familiar with the casino games, you already know how the dice table is set up. So it was a supervisor one day that I ended up having to work with. I never really worked with her too much, you know, because working in a casino, every so often, I don't know, I think it was maybe twice a year or something like that. I can't remember. They used to change people's shifts. Like people used to have to bed on shifts probably like twice a year, something like that. So if I'm not mistaken, I think this particular shift that I was working was, might have been 3 to 11s or something like that. But I just know when this shift that I was working on, a lot of the supervisors I had never worked with up until, you know, yet. So this one particular supervisor that I ended up working with on this particular day, I knew of her, you know, I seen her around, but I never really worked with her like that on the table. So she happened to be sitting box. And if you know anything about the craps table, dice game on the casino, the person that's sitting box is the person with the suit on in the middle of the table. They, look like they guarding all the money. That's the person that's sitting box. They like the referee of what's going on the game. So she was sitting box. And now this was a white woman. This was a white woman. And she just came, you know what I'm saying? When I was on what they call the stick, the person is holding the stick, and they, when people roll the dice, the person on the stick, they yelling out the numbers, and then they using the stick to pull the dice back up, reset the dice, send them back out, whoop-de-whoop. So I was working stick. And when you working stick, you are technically, you know what I'm saying? When you call it out numbers, you got spills that you have to say along with calling out numbers. You know what I'm saying? It's a protocol. It's a certain protocol with how you was taught to say things along. Like if you call a 6 and then you gotta say, it's all different type of spills and things of that nature. But really once you get good and you on the dice table and you working with other people that know what they doing, like you really ain't gotta say nothing. You know what I'm saying? We all know what we doing. So this particular woman one day, she decided that she wanted to pick a bone with me because I wasn't saying the spills. And you know what I'm saying? I've never really been the type of person, especially when I worked at the casino, just period, man. You know what I'm saying? I've never really been the type of person to have an issue with authority or have problems with people on my job. I always laid low, stayed out the way, stayed off the radar, minding my business. But every once in a while, you got shit you got to deal with. So she decided that she wanted to pick a bone with me because I wasn't saying my spills the way I was supposed to be saying them. And I don't know, man. I don't know if I can't, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I'm really trying to remember what was my response. Like, I think probably my response was like, damn, why you tripping off on me? You ain't messing with nobody else that's been coming in rotation working stick, but you want to mess with me. So, I guess we got into it a little bit. That's what I'm trying to really think, because all I can remember thinking was like what she did was really overboard. And if I was wrong, you know what I'm saying, as far as in my behavior, I would admit that, but I can't really remember. That's not even my character to, like, you know what I'm saying, to be arguing with people, especially a supervisor or something like that. So she just had a problem with me not calling the spills or whatever, you know what I mean? And I remember, and then, when we on the table, every 20 minutes, the dealers is rotating in different positions. So I'll start off as stick, then boom, another 20 minutes, rotate to what they call the base, and then another 20 minutes, rotate to the other base. It was always a rotation every 20 minutes, generally. So once I got tapped out to rotate to the other side of the table, she had the floor supervisor give me a coaching, or me not calling out my spills. First time I ever got a coaching. At this point in time, I had been a table games dealer for, 8 years? I mean, I was pretty seasoned knowing what I was doing, you know what I'm saying? But she really just wanted to pick a bone with me, man, and like had the floor supervisor give me a coaching. And it really wasn't even all that serious. Like, real talk, it really wasn't. So it was like, whatever, okay. So after that, I ended up having to work with her again. And as I'm knowing that I'm going to have to work with this woman again, I had to make a decision. I had to make a decision in my head, like, okay, am I going to, if I got to work with this woman again, am I going to not play the game, or am I going to play the game? Am I going to exercise wisdom? Am I going to exercise game in this situation? So one thing I knew, one thing that's funny, one thing that I knew about this woman, I knew from what I heard through the grapevine, I heard that she messed with brothers. Or I heard that she had some dealings with, you know what I'm saying, a brother or two up there. So I'm like, you know what? I decided to exercise game the next time that I worked with her. So I remember working with her And I mean, I just spoke to her. Just spoke to her. Hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? And I remember we just got real cool at this specific day. We got real cool. We got real cool, man. Come to find out, we had a lot of shit in common. A lot. We read books. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you can see, you know, got a little small library, but she read books. Like, we just hit it off. And it was funny because, like, I had skipped a part of the story. Like, one thing about me, when I used to work on the dice table, man, like I say, I was never a rah-rah type of dude. I always stayed to myself, did what I was supposed to do. And you working on the dice table, you know, sometimes I would talk, sometimes I wouldn't talk, depending on who I was working with and who I felt comfortable talking around. I never, you know what I'm saying? Coming across this lady, I never had no relationship with her. So that one day that she started to mess with me, you know, when she sat down at the table, you know, she could talking to everybody else, talking, communicating, socializing. I really ain't saying nothing. I don't know her like that. So then that's the day that she decided that she wanted to, you know what I'm saying, start picking the bone with me. So the next time that we worked together, like I said, I'm like, man, let me try something. Let me see what this shit is all about. Let me see. So I just started being nice to her, man. I'm like, it ain't gonna kill me. Let me just test the waters out. So I, you know, spoke to her. Like I say, we broke the ice and we got real cool after that. We got real cool to the point to where I enjoy working with her. You know what I'm saying? And you know, sometimes like being on the dice table, you know, shit can get rowdy sometimes, especially amongst the players and shit like that. You know how people get when it comes to shooting dice, even in the casino. You know what I'm saying? The same type of tension. You know, people in the streets sometimes die over dice games. That same type of energy can arise on the casino, even though ain't nobody dying on the casino. But dice games can get a little rowdy. So sometimes when things go wrong and you know, some of the players they might get mad at the dealers or get mad at me for whatever reason. Like she used to back me up a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? She really used to stand up for me. And as we got real cool, in the back of my head, like I say, I grew to enjoy working with her. You know what I'm saying? But in the back of my head, I was just always like, that's all she wanted. That's all she wanted. She just wanted to know who I was. She just wanted to know who I was, dog. And you got people that's like that. Now, I don't know if this was a racial issue. I don't know. But I do know this for sure. Women in general got strange ways of like when they interested in a man, they got some strange and sometimes some fucked up ways about how they go about shooting a shot. Real talk. Real talk. I got some, man, women got some strange ways when it comes to getting a man's attention. You know what I'm saying? And I just knew that this woman just wanted my attention. And this just real shit. You know what I'm saying? I knew that she wanted my attention. And once we got so cool, got real cool, that's what I realized, like, okay, she just wanted to know. She just wanted to know a little bit more about me. You know what I'm saying? But the way she was going about it, the way she started off going about it was fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But that all in line goes with what old boy was saying about being a black man working in a corporate structure, man. You got to deal with bullshit. You know what I'm saying? From all different type of angles. And especially when you a black man that mind your business, you not in the mix with co-workers like that. You stay off to yourself. It can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? In that particular instance, it was a bad thing because it's like, well, who's this guy? He's not talking. You know what I'm saying? She can't find no other way to reach me, so all she can do is just fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just thought that experience was funny. Like, damn, she ain't even have to do all that. You know what I'm saying? She ain't even have to do all that, but yeah, She just wanted to know who I was. And like I say, man, we got real cool after that. It wasn't nothing. I never tried to make no move on her, but I just be honest, man. If I really, the door was open, if I really wanted to sauce her up, I really could have. You know what I'm saying? I went into her like that. But it's just real shit. This is real shit. And I'm pretty sure somebody else watching this, they probably can relate to what I'm talking about. Or they probably done been through it. So that was just some lightweight, you know what I'm saying? A little lightweight situation of being a black man in the corporate structure. Somebody fucking with you for no reason. I mean, I guess she had a reason technically, but it's the same reason why the police will pull you over for some shit like, when you put on your left turn signal, you know, to get off in the left lane, you didn't go the distance of a football field before you got off in the left lane. You know, police will do shit like that when they want to fuck with you. When they ain't got no real probable cause to pull you over. Because I done been pulled over for some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So that was her way of trying to get at me. Because I wasn't socializing, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody else was. So she just wanted to know who I was. And once I peeped game and played the game, I seen what it was. Like, okay. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And I'm so glad I don't have to deal with that shit. I mean, I got other stories, you know what I'm saying? But like shit like that, that's why I love trucking. I don't have to deal with people. We still, in a sense, got to deal with people. Being out on these roads, you know, times are getting crazier, more road rage. You know, you got to deal with people when you go into shippers and receivers, things of that nature, you know what I'm saying? But as far as working in the office, having to be around these different people with different shit going on in their life and different energies all in one concentrated place. Like, we ain't being a trucker, you don't have to deal with that. You out on your own. You out in the wilderness. And in a sense, you moving how you want. You know what I'm saying? You moving on your own time, in a sense. You know what I mean? It was another incident. I spoke on this incident, I think, before people really started watching my channel, when nobody was watching my channel. I spoke on this. But I'm going to speak on it again because it's going to all tie in into the point that I'm making. Just to add, you know, extra proof to what I'm talking about. So, once again, I'm working in a casino. And at the casino, where I was working at, the Horseshoe Casino, at the time, the hottest casino that just had opened up within that time frame around this time was a casino called Rivers Casino. And some people in the Chicagoland area, they familiar with that casino. But Rivers Casino was a real money-making casino because it's right there by O'Hare Airport in, you know what I'm saying, outside of Chicago. O'Hare is, because Chicago got two airports, Midway and O'Hare. O'Hare is the international airport. So Rivers is close, right in the same vicinity where O'Hare is at. So you got a lot of money, a lot of different people, you know what I'm saying, going in and out the casino. Rivers was right there. So at the time, man, I was trying to get in at Rivers. And somebody I used to work with at a previous casino, you know what I'm saying, they told me they was going to put the word in for me to get in at Rivers, right? So ended up getting a orientation date set up. Boom. I goes to the orientation at Rivers. Had everything set up, man. Like, I just knew I was finna get this job. I knew I was finna get it. And Rivers is like, what city is that? What city? Rosemont, I think. Rosemont, Illinois. But I just know at the time, Rivers was like an hour away from where I lived at. So I was already planning on like moving out there, getting an apartment out there. And my whole mission was just to stack up as much bread as I possibly could. So, and with the type of money they was making, they would like, for what dealers usually on the average was making, they was making good money up here. I can't remember exactly what they were making, but they was making some good ass money at Rivers. So, yeah, so I was trying to get up in there. So I went to the orientation. At the orientation, yeah, it's probably like 12, 13 people up in this orientation. Now, this ain't the first, of course, this ain't the first orientation that I've been to at a casino. I've been to 2 of them so far up until this point. So we doing an orientation, and the person is holding the orientation. I don't know if this person is still there, but I just remember this was a tall black chick. She was a lesbian chick. It was just, I don't want to use the other word. I don't want to be disrespectful for it. It was obvious. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So we doing an orientation, and she seemed pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these orientations, I kind of already know how they go. You know what I'm saying? Besides watching the videos and stuff like that. But in these orientations, from what I thought it was supposed to be, that I've been through at these casinos, it always come a point in time to where they really want you to show your personality. You know what I'm saying? So in previous orientations that I've been to or been through, when it comes to different points in time to where they want you to show, parts of your personality, they'll get you to act out, tell you to act out your favorite movie role or sing a song, something like that. Just to, see what your personality is like. So I always passed them with flying colors. That was always fun to me. You know what I'm saying? But in this particular orientation, oh my God. In this particular orientation, they ain't want us, because I was even thinking like, okay, I already had my movie part that I was going to do. I already knew what I was going to do because I'm thinking this is what it's going to be. Like, nah, they switched it up. Whoever this girl was, they switched it up. They wanted you to pick out an animal and act it out and have people guess what the animal was. And when she said that, when it came time for that part of the orientation, my heart dropped. My heart dropped. Because I instantly knew like 2 things I'm not doing. 2 things I am not doing. I'm not barking like no dog, and I'm not doing no monkey. I already knew that off top. So I'm like, damn, what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, like I say, we did the orientation started off pretty good. I was feeling great about it. I just knew I was finna be up in here. You know what I'm saying? What did she have us do? Okay, I'm moving too fast. So anyway, like I say, everything was cool. I felt like the girl hosting the shit was cool. I just knew I had this, you know what I'm saying? Plus, my man that I used to work with at the very first casino I worked with, he worked at this casino. He put the word in for me, so I just knew I was gonna have it. So when it came part of the acting out this animal shit, it just automatically came in my mind like, man, I can't do no dog and I can't do no monkey. And them the easiest things to do. All I had to do was get on my knees and bark like a dog. Or jump up like a monkey. Couldn't do it. In my mind, I'm like, damn, what I'm gonna do? Because the one thing that I kept thinking about as people was doing their animals and shit like that, as it was coming around to me, I kept thinking about this old footage of Bobby Shmurda when he was at a record label, auditioning or some shit, man. He was looking crazy, performing, jumping up and down on the tables and shit like that. This shit looked crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I can think about when I was at the orientation. So I'm trying to think of something that I can do to where I ain't got to jump out of my character, dog. I'm like, damn, this girl just threw a loop in this shit. Like, what is this? We got to act like animals. I couldn't think of nothing I can do. I couldn't think of nothing that I can do to where I could be smooth with it and make people get. I couldn't think. So the only thing that I can think of to do was the worst choice that I can think of. And it's a reason why. All I can think about was a snake. And how did I do that when it came to me? I just stood there in place. Just was moving side to side. and making little hiss sounds and shit. That's what I was trying to do. And of course, couldn't nobody figure out what that was. Well, I think somebody had figured it out, but the girl who was hosting the orientation, she didn't know what I was doing. But once it was revealed that I was doing the snake, it seemed like her whole attitude changed towards me. That's what it felt like, real talk. So I just remember carrying on with the orientation, and then it came to a point to where we actually had to get on the dice table. Like whatever games that you already had under your belt, you had to audition on them games. So I had to, show I know how to do blackjack, and then we had to get on the dice table that they had in the room. And mind you, it was another chick. It was this Filipino chick that I worked with at the current casino that I was working with at the time. She was cool, had no absolute problems with her. So we used to work together all the time. But she was in the orientation too, trying to get on at Rivers Casino. So we practicing on the dice table, and look, this is just real shit. This ain't even trying to brag or nothing like that, man. But I was a way better dealer than this Filipino chick. You know what I'm saying? She was decent, but she wasn't up to par. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest. I was way better than her. You know what I'm saying? At the current casino where we was working at, when they open up high roller tables, I'm one of the ones that they calling. They not calling her. Straight up. People used to get frustrated when she used to come to the table. Like, a lot of people who know how to deal dice, a lot of people it just don't click. Just like trucking. Don't be clicking for some people. Same thing how it was when it come to learning how to deal dice. You can learn the basics, but it don't click for everybody to where, people be having problems. They be slowing the game up, players going off, everybody getting frustrated. She was one of them people. I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying? Once again, as a person, beautiful person. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so while we doing orientation on the craps table, I just remember the girl that was hosting the orientation, man, I just felt like her whole attitude changed towards me after that snake presentation. And I understand, and you know what I'm saying? I knew I kind of messed up because they asking you to do these things for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think part of it was probably to see, how much improv you can do, how much you willing to show your personality, because that's what they want. They want people with personality. They want people smiling on the floor, making people feel comfortable, all that. But I believe that they also was judging people on the type of animals that they chose to improv. I chose the worst animal that you can do in a casino, a snake. What do snakes do? Deceive, steal. You know what I'm saying? Which I've never done, never even thought about it. But that was just a bad choice in the spur of the moment. So, yeah, I just remember her whole attitude changed. I just remember the vibe. I just felt it. I felt it change. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, man, old girl, the Filipino chick, man, she couldn't fuck with me on the dice table, dog. It's just what it was. I ain't putting her down. Just is what it is. Now, came to the end of the orientation and she said, okay, well, you're going to be expecting an email and it's going to let you know whether it's yay or nay. Cool. I'm thinking I got this shit. Well, it was a little bit in me that was thinking like, man, that animal shit threw me off. And I kind of knew. I kind of just felt it like, man, I felt something funny. So anyway, within a day or two, actually got the email. Got an email and I didn't get the job. But guess who did get the job? Guess who did get it? Guess who got the job? You guessed it. It was the Filipino chick. A Filipino. She got the job. And when we was doing our improv with the animals, guess what she did? Guess what she did? Yeah, you guessed it. She hopped right up on that chair. Ooh, 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 ah, 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 ah. Straight monkey. Oh shit. Yeah. She did the monkey. Yeah, she did. She hopped up on that table, on that chair, whatever, and ooh, ooh, ah, 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 ah. The same animal that I already had in my head before she even did that I knew I was not doing. No dog, no monkey. And yeah, she she ended up getting the job. It is what it was, you know what I'm saying? And my guy that was putting the word in for me, he was off. For some reason, he was off that week. So he didn't have no power to try to make no shit shake for me. And it just is what it is. But you know what? I'm glad I didn't get off in the rivers. I'm so happy. Bruh, man, I'm so happy. I'm so happy I got up out that casino train. You know what I'm saying? Not knocking nobody that's still working the casino, but it's just after a while, just for my different reasons, it just wasn't for me no more. So I'm so glad that it didn't go well for me. And that's why I say trucking really saved me from the corporate circus, because I don't have to worry about this shit. I don't have to deal with that shit. You know, and that's the one thing that always attracted me about trucking, man, that you can get off, not kind of, but you really can get off in the trucking, man, and make your own way. Call shots on your own destiny. It's all on you. I always say this shit is like GTA. This is an open world. It's what you want to do. And you know, like I say, the only thing that I miss about working around people was being around women. But other than that, all that little shit you got to deal with people, and we still got to deal with shit as truckers. You know what I'm saying? It's just the leash, especially in the position that I'm at right now, being leased on to a company. You still gotta. Don't matter if you got your own truck or not. If you got your truck leased on to a company running up under their numbers, you got to follow their protocol. So I guess you could say my leash is just longer. I just got a way longer leash. You know what I'm saying? But generally in trucking, that's why a lot of us like and enjoy trucking, because we ain't got nobody over our backs. We ain't got to deal with that petty ass bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I enjoy it. A lot of people, and I get it, you know, everybody got their own preferences. When people be like, well, how could you work regional? How could you work OTR? I don't know about, hey, I've worked in a corporate structure long enough. I want freedom. You know what I'm saying? When I say sovereignty, I really mean that shit. And it's coming in levels and steps, small steps, but it's coming in steps. And to me, that was a piece of sovereignty that I felt like I gained since being in trucking, getting the hell away from always being in that pit with people, to where you always susceptible to somebody. You know what I mean? Or just like even at that orientation, at that last casino that I tried to get into, man, like that animal shit, that threw me off. That threw me all the way off. A lot of shit just like, man, I don't want to be a part of this, man. I don't want to. Oh, man. Like, damn. Because I guarantee you I would have got that job. I guarantee you if I would have barked like a dog, or if I would have been jumping like a gorilla or a monkey, I guarantee you I would have got that job. But it just comes sometimes, man, just when you a person and you got certain principles and morals that you really standing on, sometimes you're going to take L's, family. You're going to take L's. And that's the unfortunate thing about really when people love saying this shit, you know, stand for something, fall for anything. When you really live in that shit, it's some pain that come with that. Because I was kind of hurt that I didn't get that job. I was really looking forward to it. I was planning on moving out to Rosemont and everything. So, and this is just another reason, man. Yeah, trucking is tough. Trucking is hard. You got to deal with bullshit no matter where you go, period. But trucking has gave me a certain amount of freedom that working in certain corporate structures from which I came from before, they can never give me, ever. Yes, compared to where I started at, you know what I'm saying? From when I left the casino to now, yeah, I feel like a free man. Yeah, I do. Don't take it back. That's why I rep for this trucking so hard. That's why I speak so highly of it. Yeah, I tell people the truth about certain things. Certain things got to be discussed. We got to have real talk, but nigga, trucking saved me from away from that shit. Got to deal with the petty any ass shit, man. I'm so glad to be away from that shit. And some of us, man, we rather be on the road than having to be in a box, you know, in a building, in the office, having to deal with other people. Got to deal with people's attitudes, and you don't know how your boss gonna be feeling today. Like when you out here trucking, man, as long as you doing what you supposed to be doing, man, you out of sight, out of mind. Try to stay off the radar. You know what I'm saying? So sorry to make this video so long, but yeah, that was just some shit that was on my mind. So yeah, go ahead and head out. Vonnie EC. Y'all be easy.